everybody, welcome back. Unboxing time, and today we're here with, as usual, one of my favorites. Everything on Tuesday is one of my favorites. Today we're here back for the January 2021 Horror Pack. Ooh. So we're gonna take a look at Horror Pack, and in the meantime, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it and pop this bag out, this box. There's a bag of movies in there. If you wanna check out Horror Pack, I have a link in the description below. It should get you some kind of discount, I believe, at checkout. And basically, once a month, they're gonna send us 4 movies. There's a DVD pack and a Blu Ray pack. I do think they get different movies. And out of those 4 movies, one of them is always going to be an exclusive collector's edition available, at least as of time of release, as only in Horror Pack. That English is so good. See, there's a bag in here. So it's really, really fun. Plus, just keep in mind, I have a huge movie collection, well over 7,000 physical titles, so I tend to have a lot of these movies, but we are gonna review these movies, so if nothing else, I use it as a way to kind of force me to rewatch some things maybe I haven't watched in a while, and then give you my thoughts on those. And we always try to get Mary in on one if we can here or there. And I'm just realizing I should have moved some stuff away from my feet. I don't want to step on a vinyl record down there. But all that is cool. But if you like these movie reviews, you want more movie reviews, you want more cool stuff, we have a join button for YouTube memberships. I'm doing like movie series back there. I should theoretically be going through the Resident Evil movies right now, plus other things, games and stuff like that. Patreon link in there. I do movie reviews there as well. And of course, you know, you come over to our Discord server and talk movies all day. There's an invite link in there as well, and merch store. All right. So we're gonna jump in here. I'm gonna try to talk long enough over each one to play some of the trailer or all of the trailer. We'll take a quick look at what these are, and we'll see what we get. What do I get to start watching? Because I'm excited. I'm an excited boy. Lots of new horror movies to watch. First up, we have... Oh, I do not have this. I don't know anything about this. This is the Domestics? The Domestics. Kate Bosworth. That is a name I've not heard in a long time. Okay. Oh, real quick too, before we jump into these, they've been sending us Conjuring and Annabelles and all that stuff for the past few months. So what do you think? You think we're getting one of the 2 other Annabelles in here? We're gonna get the Nun, we're gonna get the Curse of La Llorona? Comment at this point in your timestamp down there. Let's see if you're right. All right, so anyways, we got this movie. Here's what it looks like. I mean, the cover art's pretty decent, considering it's something I haven't seen. There's the back. I get a little bit of a Madman there. Madman, is that yeah, that's the movie I'm thinking of. Let me show you the front here again, but hey, at least we definitely have a title I do not have. And we have, it's Mad Max Meets the Purge, says Jonathan Barkan of Dread Central. In a terrifying post-apocalyptic world inhabited by murderous gangs divided into deadly factions, Nina, played by Kate Bosworth, and Mark, Tyler Hoechlin, race desperately across the lawless countryside in search of safety. As one depraved group narrows their search for the couple, they must work together as they are pushed to the breaking point in order to survive. That actually sounds kind of cool. And I can't tell from this picture, but I think we have the guy from the first Resident Evil movie in here that was leading the Umbrella Squad. Anyways, bonuses include Behind the Scenes, Gangland, Behind the Scenes, The Good Fight, deleted scenes with commentary, theatrical trailer. And this is rated R, and it is a running time of 95 minutes. Mike Nelson's the director. Isn't he busy on the Satellite of Love? Haha, that's how funny I am. Y'all know I'm super, super funny. That's why you like these. Music by Nathan Barr. I do know that composer at least, so that's probably pretty good. Okay, that could be very interesting. We'll let that trailer roll a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good one. You know, kind of a chase film, so hopefully it runs at a decent length. If you hear the rattling, I'm just kind of trying to make sure I don't open. I'm just trying to see spine so I can see the number and not open the wrong thing next. But, you know, I mean, that could be a good time. I figured I had to turn it over. You always got to turn it over if you don't. If you pull it out of the box, you get the first movie off. The second movie is always going to be the exclusive, but I like pulling that at the end. But yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good time. An interesting flick. Who released this? Cinedigm. Was that Orion? Did I see Orion? Hollywood Gang. Yeah, Orion Classics. Oh, what is this from? 2018. So this is fairly recent, too. Okay. Lots of planes dropping bombs or seeding the area, so that's kind of interesting, too. So what kind of scale is this actually going to get to? I don't know. We'll have to find out by watching this movie at some point. Good people didn't survive. They did. What is it about post-apocalyptic? You always assume the worst people are going to survive. Sometimes good people survive. It's just random. Till it's not, I guess. Alright, well, that's probably enough of that. We're probably showing off plenty of that trailer. I don't know. I don't have enough things to say for 3 whole freaking minutes about it. I don't know anything about it. I'm just excited we got one I don't have. Hopefully, there's more in here we don't have. Now, I definitely don't have this version of the exclusive, and as a movie collector, I like having alternate versions, so we are at least 50% in the good and in the clear on this. But now let's see what comes next. We get, oh, another one I don't have. Oh, wow, okay. The Dead Room. Oh boy, this, okay, this could be interesting. Yeah, I'm, oh boy. Okay, so this one I can't watch late at night. Let me show you the back here real quick, and then I'll show you the front, and then we'll take a closer look at the back. Art's kind of interesting. This is concerning. So here's the back, and you can see this. I'll read it to you here in just a second. All gray and grayed out. Okay, interesting. So, The Dead Room provides gripping tension, a stunning supernatural thriller, haunting visuals with an outstanding theatrical performance, says DecayMag.com, who I've never heard of. Step inside the Dead Room, where something sinister guards a home's horrifying secrets. Inspired by a 1970s urban legend, this atmospheric nerve shredder follows 2 scientists, Thomas and Brophy, I guess those are the actors, and a young psychic, Peterson, as they travel to the countryside to investigate mysterious goings-on in a remote farmhouse. Ah, so we have the Conjuring light, I see. Skepticism quickly turns to terror as the researcher's presence unsettles a seriously angry, demonic presence possessing the home. Upping the haunted house movie ante with visceral camera work and unsettling sound design, The Dead Room creates a sense of palpable danger lurking in every corner and hallway. So, extras, behind the scenes, plus trailer. Special feature, Rumble trademark. Get ready for the future of fear. A new pre-show technology. A new pre-show technology that uses infrared or infra sound waves to immerse the audience in a low-frequency soundscape to help attune the viewer for the atmospheric frights of this motion picture. Hi, I mean, you might as well use a colander and boil your rice. It's directed and edited by Jason Stutter. Raven Banner releasing. Jed Brophy, Jeffrey Thomas, Laura Peterson, Rachel Bullock. Never heard of any of them. Don't recognize any of the names in here. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You know, I can support low-budget indie horror as well. It's 80 minutes, so it's at least a short watch if it's not good. But, yeah, I don't know, man. And honestly, too, if this is, and like, who's released this? This isn't even like a, I mean, no disrespect to Raven's Run or whatever, but this is not like an A-tier cup. This isn't like Warner Brothers or somebody being like, here's a new technology. This is Randoland introducing a new technology on a random movie. So I don't know how I feel about that, but obviously I guess I'll try it so we can talk about it in the review. This is also a DVD Blu Ray combo pack, so there's that, I guess. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm gonna say that is that. All right. So the next movie has a slipcover, so it's likely to be something I have. It's likely to be from the Conjuring universe if the trend of the last few months keep up. So I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see. What do we get? Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh wow, okay. I don't know if we have this. I gotta check my list. I'll check my list once we read it. But we have Unsane. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Steven Soderbergh. Steven Soderbergh films are tight. All right, well, cool. Let me show you the back here. Let me show you the front here. We might have this. If we didn't get this, this was something I meant to get. So we might actually have 100% new titles for me here. What's the underside look like? Because that's what we really want to check out. It's going to have more details on the back for us too. Get a little up close here, up close and personal so you can see. Things should look even clearer now because we're on a new phone here for the top-down shooting. Okay, so we have electrifying. Prepare to be wowed, says Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. Now, that's a publication I've heard of. Academy Award-winning director Steven Soderbergh plunges audiences into the suspense and drama of a resilient woman's fight to reclaim her freedom, even as she risks her own sanity. Still scarred from the trauma of being terrorized by a stalker, Sawyer Valentini, Claire Foy of The Crown, receives treatments at the Highland Creek Behavioral Center. However, shortly after, she unwittingly commits herself to the mental institution and is unable to leave. She catches sight of a faculty staffer who, she is convinced, is actually her stalker. But is he real or a product of her delusion? Illusion. Bonus feature, Unsanity. Okay. So this is Steven Soderbergh. This is an hour and 39 minutes, and it is from 2016, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the movie that was entirely shot on a cell phone. Granted, don't get too ahead of yourself. Shot on a cell phone with tens of thousands of dollars of like lens attachments, high-end audio gear, hundreds of thousands of dollars of lighting, full crew. You know, so phones are getting really good, but phones cannot still shoot a theatrical movie. Plus, I do, as somebody who appreciates cinematography, I could even tell from the trailers, and I heard in theaters that it's definitely a bit of a muddy look to it. Not terrible, and that's a nice step in the right direction. I'm not totally saying we can't do that, but it's not what it was or what it probably should be. So real quick, I'm gonna check my stuff here. I'm in my Movies app. And crap, we do have it, so we only get 3 movies we did not have, but that's all right, it happens. And I am anxious to see this. I am excited to see this. Actually, since I had it up, let's see if my dad watched it and if he gave it a review or not. We share our movie app. He did watch it. He gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which for him is really good. Nothing ever gets a 5. Like, nothing gets a 5 from him. 4 is the things he loves. 3 is like, oh, that was pretty good. I'd watch it again. So a 3.5 is pretty solid from him. So cool, that's something I definitely want to check out, and I'm excited to check that out myself. But now we get on to the main event. We get on to the special limited edition, the horror pack exclusive version of something, and we also get to find out, is the box art any good? The last, the December exclusive was, actually, that turned out to be fantastic. That's an awesome movie. I'm gonna watch over and over again. Even Mary loved it. But let's see what we get. Today we get, Crazy to Crazy. Whew. Hiya. Just the freaking design some goddamn cover art. This is awful. Not only is this awful, but like even the front is awful. Like the front was clearly made from like frame grabs or something. The quality is horrendous. This does not set a good tone for the movie, which I'm gonna have to look something up for because there's not even any. Jesus Christ, look at this. Look at this, it looks good. It looks good on this thing. But I mean, like, look up close at like how the printing of that is. Like it's clearly like still frames from the movie, man. And it is number, what, 55? Yeah, 55, my shrink wrap. But look at this boring ass back of the box that doesn't even have a blurb telling you what the hell the movie is about. This is one of the worst boxes I have ever, or box arts I have ever seen come out of a horror pack release. And you know I like to give them crap because a lot of times nobody designs a really good back for these. And the whole point is movie collecting, man. We're collecting the movies, so it really, really pisses me off. More than it should, I'm sure. And now I'm trying to get this to load on IMDb, so I actually have used something to read about this, whatever the hell it is. All right, I got a description. Here we go. Oh wow, this is gonna take so long to read. What happens when a psychopath meets an all-American family of psychopaths? Admittedly, that one line of a premise doesn't sound too bad. It is 92 minutes. They call it a crime horror thriller. The overall IMDb rating is a 4.4 out of 10, but you know, who knows? Especially with those kind of ratings. kind of thumbing through. Oh, it opens photos. This just doesn't. Oh boy. Okay. God. Ugh. Yeah, definitely nobody in the cast is recognizable at all. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, although one of the IMDb guys has a Twin Pines Mall shirt on. I guess that's cool. One review gives it 2 stars out of 10. Ultra low budget. See, we got any critic reviews? There's one external review. What? No, that just takes me back around to the movie. All right. Wow. Wow, this is, wow. I don't even know. What the hell, Horror Pack? This looks awful. And it just came out. I guess this is its first release. I mean, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I do not have a good feeling about this. All right, so listen. Horror Pack, I love Horror Pack. I'm not abandoning Horror Pack by any means, because I really do love them, and when they kill it, they kill it, but this is a weak month. Because, sure, Unsane, very cool, but all 3 of these could have probably been the Horror Pack exclusive. But then you even get to the exclusive, and it's like, really? This is the art we're going with? This is the printing quality we're going with? Whew. That doesn't do a real good job selling it to other people. Yeah, y'all need a graphic designer. You need a graphic designer. Or like watch some damn YouTube videos and learn how to do better. Jesus. Whew. I mean, I still love you. I'm not abandoning you, but my God. All right, let's buckle up for some interesting reviews. Let's watch the movies. So, I think this is like first out of the box. It's first or second. I've watched the third and fourth. We're starting off awesome with The Domestics and Mary Watched With Me.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was really, really good.
Yeah, it's in a similar vein, I would say similar vein to Six String Samurai, but without the over-the-top artistry.
In a good way, yes, and the insane soundtrack. Not that any of that was bad here, it's just we don't want to overhype your comparison or expectations, but there are definitely flavors of that.
But it's a fun little post-apocalyptic road trip movie.
Post-apocalyptic.
It's been a long night.
It's also the day before Lent, which somebody stops drinking, so we celebrated. But yeah, no. It's not super gory or anything. It's, I should say, okay, for its budget for what they could do, which is a good amount, they were great with that. Like, really my only complaints about this movie, and these aren't even complaints, my only, like, if you had to point out negatives, because, is the budget. Hold on, let me circle back to that real quick. No, I know where I wanted to start. Context of where we're at watching this. We've been doing our Golden Globe movie rewatch, so like our award season movie rewatch. So, you know, watching like high-end award movies and then going into like exploitation movies that can have a thing with your expectations and your enjoyment. So part of me wants to be like, but if they, and I'm like, this is not an award movie. This is a have a few drinks, enjoy just a fucking exploitation film. And for that, they did amazing. And my only complaints in that regard even are, if it had a bigger budget, they could have gotten even more charismatic stars. Not to say they're not charismatic, just more, and like more of everything. And that's like, but that's not even, I'm not even trying to be negative on it. I'm just saying for what they had, they did a great job with it.
Do you want to point out who the stars were?
All right, let's get into that too, because I was going to save it for the review, but I just told her. So the dude, Tyler...
Hulchin? I can't
pronounce I'm gonna sneeze. Now you got my sneeze. What the fuck? He is CW Superman.
Yeah.
What Mary didn't know, because she hasn't seen it, which you need to see it. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Is Kate Bosworth was Lois in Superman Returns. with Brandon Routh, who is of course in not Ant-Man, the Atom in CW series. So it's like, so I joked at the end, I was like, wow, that was a really weird alternate Lois and Clark, alternate universe Lois and Clark episode. Because it legit was, and honestly, I didn't even think about that through the movie. Like, I knew he was Superman, but until the very end, I was like, oh fuck, like it just hit me. Like, she was fucking Lois, so this was Lois and Clark. Yeah. But yeah, supporting cast is great. The world, the characters, the world. I like the world they set up, like the way the types. I just wish there had been more of that. Not necessarily more groups, but more of each of the groups. Because I like what we got, but I was into it enough. I would like more. The radio disc jockey, which is a big 6-string samurai feel, kind of went away halfway in, but it's like more of that. Yeah. Like if they had more of that, more of a soundtrack, more of the just craziness of it. But again, some of that's budget. No, I really enjoyed the hell out of this one.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's one of those things. It has, tons of potential. If it had the opportunity to ramp everything up just a little bit more, like I said, like some of the groups that only got passing. It's just like, we have like a rogue cherry running around, not a whole,
Right, so it's little things like that, and you feel like you want to know a little bit more about some of that, but even outside of that group, like some other groups, like, oh, they set up these cool groups, and they're kind of barely in it. But I mean, not in a negative way, like the movie lacks from having them. I'm just saying that's how it would be cooler. Now, and I think what it is the only way I'm being negative about this at all is just in the sense that I really enjoyed it, and I don't want to overhype it with my excitement. But like, if you could, you check out the trailer. If you're like, you know what, that looks like having like a drink and some friends and watch that. Not even to make fun of, just like, a good way to spend 93 minutes or whatever.
I actually watched the trailer for this.
Yeah. Remember, this was the horror pack. I showed you all the trailers.
Oh, that's right.
Which I don't know if I mentioned. I think this is the first movie we opened, so I haven't mentioned it in this review succession yet. But I will warn you, this. Also, some of my excitement might be because I have already seen the rest of Horror Pack, and whoo, this month. Whoo.
Tinkers.
Understatement. But this, I was very, very happy to enjoy the hell out of this one. So, without getting too ahead of what I thought about all these movies, this was like the tipping point of, okay, this was the weakest Horror Pack in a while. But it's not terrible because, there's a really great one. There's a really fun one. Oof, and then there's two. Whoo! Then there's two.
Total woofs.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say there's two Ric Flairs, but that sounds like I'm negative on Ric Flair. No, I meant like there's two. Whoo! But with a rolling eyes, not an excitement eyes. But yeah, and again, supporting characters, some of the twists and turns. Now, the trailer, if you do see the trailer, I'm sorry if we showed you visually, but it does give away some of the bigger moments, some of the big action moments. But, it's what a movie like this got to do, got to draw you in.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, and the pacing's almost a little too fast in the beginning, because almost in the beginning I'm like, wait, where are we? And what did we just?
Actually, I thought it was a flashback after a moment, then I realized like, no, he's trying to do this thing from the beginning, and she's just not in that first scene. Yeah,
it's a little confusing to some degree in the beginning. I'm with you absolutely on that. So, like I said, not a perfect movie by any means, but for a movie with what means it has, did a fantastic job, and I'm very happy. This is actually the last of the whole box. We started with it.
It's just that first cut where it goes from him talking to the guy about going on the trip, and then they're in the garage.
Yeah, and there's a certain line, too, within that that makes it feel like, wait, who? It's confusing who somebody is referring to.
Yeah.
And then that first scene in the garage, like super tenseful. Tenseful. I was making fun of you and your words. Super tense. And like it drew me in. And I was like, oh shit, no, there's a very competent filmmaker behind this. So excellent.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's long, it's late. I gotta go. We've watched 3 movies today, but we got a lot more things to watch.
I gotta go work.
Oh fuck! Luckily, you don't have to travel far, especially in like what do we got? 4, 5, 6 inches of ice. I
can walk on the snow like Legolas.
Yeah,
we're cool.
We're not as bad as some places, and we live in a place where we do deal with things like this from time to time. So, but But, you know, I was just pointing that out. Okay, that's it. I'll shut up. You got 3 other reviews. I still have 1 to film, even though I watched the movie a couple days ago. Whoops. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Next movie. That's what I say. Next movie. All right, so The Dead Room. I don't know if I've mentioned this anywhere else, but just in case, we watched all 4 trailers for these ahead of time. I had a little sense of what I was in for here, and it's pretty much what I expected. This was very weak. Most of the performances were pretty bad. The effects were very bad. The story was dull, boring. If you're gonna do a movie like this, you need to put a lot more effort into like sound design. The last 10 minutes almost get interesting, but then they're not. Stunt work and stuff, like people getting dragged around, thrown around, whatever, is like slow and lethargic and weird. Things happen like glass shattering in front of our characters' faces, barely a scratch, super easy, barely an inconvenience. I mean, it's just dull. There's nothing creepy about it. There's nothing suspenseful about it. There's anything about it, really. I can't really recommend this one at all. This was a real waste of my time. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I've seen far worse films. This just commits the sin of being absolutely boring. Having nothing interesting to say, nothing unique, nothing original. It's just full of cliches. I'm sorry to the people involved. Again, kudos. You finished a film. That's huge. And you got it distributed. That's huge too. It just didn't work for me. Now, granted, ghost story, things like this, you gotta be real good at what you're doing. Like, I love the Paranormal Activity series. I love the Conjuring series, you know, Insidious, things like that. But those, even though they are like ghost story kind of things, they have something going on. They have more story. They have great character development. Didn't give a shit about any of the characters in this at all. So that's a huge thing. In a movie like this, you have to care about these characters to go on the journey with them. I didn't. Not a single bit. Nothing ever intrigued me about them. They're just run-of-the-mill. I don't feel there was any character arcs of any kind. Not that you necessarily need that. I'm just saying there was nothing to this movie. It had nothing. There was a shot or two, again, in the last 10 minutes or so, that is like, okay, that's kind of cool. If we had gotten to this, like, if what occurs with about 10 minutes left in the movie, this discovery, if that occurs at the end of the first act and you build upon that and go somewhere interesting from that, vastly superior film. But you shoehorned that in near the end. The stuff I'm supposed to be creeped out by, freaked out by, and scared by in the beginning, it's just like, oh wow, people are shaking stuff around and y'all are rumbling the bass with this whole weird ass fucking rumble shit. That's bizarre. This is one of those horror packs that, I mean, this is only the first movie. This is the first movie I watched out of this. And again, Unsane should be great. The one with Kate Bosworth, whatever it's called, the trailer looked all right. The exclusive trailer looks... I'm gonna have to be real drunk for that. But no, this was just... It was just boring. I just wanted it over with. It's not something I can get excited by. And I was not excited by it. I was hoping this one would change my mind. The distribution company Raven Banner, they occasionally get some really good shit, but then they occasionally get some really shitty shit. So, yeah. This is a hard pass. Blah. So Unsane. That's gotta be the best movie in this box. I can tell it's shot on an iPhone. Let's get that out of the way. It's kind of muddy a little bit. You know, it's lacking in some contrast and stuff. And I don't really necessarily see a cinematic, from a viewer standpoint, reason to shoot it on an iPhone. Technology is not quite there yet. So I'm gonna take a pass on that. Kudos for trying. Wasn't ready for it. The story itself is actually really, really good. Without getting too spoilery though, I think it does give away what it actually is a little too early. I was really enjoying the is she, isn't she crazy kind of element, because I do love those kind of movies. And then once they kind of settle in on what's happening, I think they reveal that too soon in the film, but that does allow some interesting things to happen.
Again, I think it's pretty well plotted. It's really well played out. It's going to be one of those movies that's going to be real fun to go back and rewatch from time to time. Performances are excellent. The believability, the frustrations, those are excellent. There's a little bit of shock factor in here. I did end up watching this one without Mary. I think she could have handled it. It's not super brutal or gruesome or anything. It's just really fascinating and gets under your skin. That said, it being a Soderbergh film, I'm not terribly surprised how good this was. It's got to be the best of the horror pack, especially when half this horror pack was so awful. I guess we're getting to that. But I've been meaning to watch this for a very, very long time, and I'm glad I finally did. Granted, I am shooting the review a little bit later because I finished that like real late in the morning. But like, I mean, again, I should have been crashing during this movie. I watched it so late, and it held my attention like crazy. Just from start to finish. And it's very believable, at least certain aspects of it. The mental health institution aspects of it, very, very believable and frightening in their own right. I wish the movie had done a little bit more with that than it did. I think to me that was the more fascinating angle than where they went. But also, you know, I'm a dude. I don't deal with the situations the way some of these characters have had to deal with them. Not that there's not dude characters in this that don't have interesting things to do, but you know, you're following Claire Foy, and there's certain manipulations that you know, ladies have to deal with, or not manipulation, but situations ladies have to deal with more than dudes ever have. So it's a little bit, you know, I try to understand, but I don't have that experience. But that said, you can feel it in here. Nothing feels over the top cliche or dramatic like weirdness. You know, it's not like, oh, that's such a written character, such a created, such a screenwriter character. Everybody feels very realistic in this. The situations feel very realistic in this. The things that happen in this feel like they could absolutely 100% happen in a system that is not as well looked over, or regulated, or watched, for lack of a better term, as it should be. And it is unsettling and makes you a little bit insane in that regard. But I do like these kind of movies of are they, aren't they, crazy kind of thing. I just feel this movie pulled the trigger on the reveal of that too soon to do some interesting things, but maybe not as interesting as if they had kept that other tension going. And overall, I quite like it. In my brain, I wish maybe, just because I'm watching all these kind of movies right now, it had a hint more of Promising Young Woman than what we get here, maybe. But then again, maybe not. Maybe it's just really good the way it is. It's definitely something I'm happy to have in the collection again. And we'll watch over and over. And maybe one of these days I will show it to Mary, because I think this is actually the kind of horror she can get into. It's very psychological, very interesting, and very incredibly well made, other than just feeling a little bit flat. And I feel like if I didn't know it was shot on an iPhone, I still would have known it didn't quite look right. The aspect ratio is not quite 1:3:3 or 1:6:6 or 4:3 or even 16:9. But even that, it's like it did feel a little less depth. And keeping in mind, this is a while ago that they did this. This might be 5-10 years ago, and the camera technologies have vastly improved. And again, it is a great example of your equipment doesn't necessarily matter as much as knowing how to use your equipment, and most importantly, telling a good story with characters people care about in some way or another, or find fascinating, and taking them on a ride. And then you can shoot on anything, even a cell phone. Granted, this clearly had like high-end sound and lighting and, and other stuff. It does look, from what I saw, not to be huge in the lens attachment department and everything, and especially from the cinematic watching element now, I could see that it wasn't really playing with that too much. So I'm sure that was a great deal of freedom of just being on a little like DJI handheld gimbal or something, or just mounting a camera anywhere you could mount a phone versus like a giant Reflex or something, you know, so Reflex. So that was pretty cool. But ultimately, this was a great one, and I'm stoked it was in there. It's not, it is horror. It's not as horror as a lot of the stuff should be. It's definitely on the outskirts of horror, but you could totally count this as horror. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I think it's absolutely worth your time, especially if you like and this is not a knock on the other films. You know, I love my crazy, gory, cheesy shit too, but especially like the slightly more highbrow, psychological kind of horror, then you're going to dig the hell out of this. It's not as, it does get a little exploitative in a good way, so you'll enjoy it. Joe Bob says check it out, probably. So I do too. Enjoy. All right, crazy to crazy. Pretty much what I expected, especially after seeing the trailer. It might actually be a little bit better than I anticipated, but it's not good. Not by any means. It is slow. It is boring. It's not as bad as Blood Room or whatever the hell it is. I will say, if this is made and performed by like first timers, then at least they're trying to do something here, and they should keep doing it, because then maybe they will get there. But if these people have been around, then it's not working. The first 15 minutes is like literally nothing but dudes masturbating. I mean, I don't even mean that as a spoiler. Like, that's not even plot or story. That's just like a common thing happening frequently in the first 15 minutes. That doesn't really go anywhere or connect. It's just supposed to be character and world building. It's not very violent. It's not very gruesome. The trailer probably shows the most gruesome bit. It's a good like hour before any kind of actual violence or gore even occurs into the film. There's a twist that, you know, I think it's given away in the trailer probably, but it's kind of good. But it's like basic good. It's just not executed well. Because I don't know, am I supposed to feel bad for a certain person in this? Because you don't. You spend a lot of time setting them up as not somebody to feel bad for. Everything's cliche. Acting's not great. Sound is muddy and gross. Picture quality is a little bit muddy. I mean, like, it looks like it's been like well color corrected, but maybe not well shot, or I think really more it's almost like it's overly compressed a little bit. It's not, I don't know, it just looked muddy and not good. There's a little bit of music in it that's pretty good. Mostly songs. I did immediately recognize the music from the Three Stooges short of Disorder in the Court the second you start hearing it. And then they use that because it's public domain. Not exactly sure how that would work. Because then there's also like a shot from It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm like, I don't think you can legally do that. And I guarantee this movie did not pay or get the rights to do it. You know, like the print quality on the DVD case, that's like what the visual quality of the movie kind of looked like. It had that kind of, not pixelated, but not quite sharp look going on. Even the ending, sorry about that. Even the ending, there's more they could do. There's some twists and turns they could have taken. They didn't. They just went very cliche. Then, for some reason, there's a director's cut and a theatrical cut choice on there. I'm like, no one made you make a theatrical cut. I don't know what the differences is. I watched the director's cut because, you know, why not? It was slow. It was dull. And again, I think the main actor, the character being tortured, I think that person, they really put it in there. At least as far as performance, they deserve some kudos. They were really going for it. I just don't think they had the best film to do it in. But what they were doing, I think they are good at their craft. And again, the other actors and stuff, I'm not trying to knock them. I just feel like it didn't work here. It's kind of what I expected, but you know what? I'm glad it's over with. So I watched what I think will be the worst two movies first, and we'll go back and watch the other movies. But, oof, these two movies have been so bad that it's like, is it time to cancel Horror Pack? I'm not gonna, not anytime soon, but I've never considered it more than I've considered it with these two choices. Jesus Christ. And even the other two movies that I haven't watched yet, and Mary wants to watch at least one of them. But even that's gonna be like bad, but hopefully in a good way. But these two were rough. I've never, especially, maybe it was a bad idea watching the trailers, but I could kind of tell from the boxes, I've never been so unexcited to watch things out of one of these Horror Pack boxes. Yeah, this was rough. I'm gonna go watch Bloodbath and Beyond review these things. I don't know if they review the movies. They do the unboxing. They're cool dudes. I talk to them during Joe Bob on Fridays. All right. Also, it's late now. It's 3:23 a.m., so I should shut up and move on to something better. All right. Next month, better, hopeful, fingers, better be better. Please be better. Yeah.
So something tells me this was by far the best one in here, and something tells me I am now unsane after watching all of those. Whew. Yeesh. I was looking forward to some real exciting things to be hyped about having to watch over the next few weeks, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, nope, don't get excited. But what do y'all think? Have you seen these? How do you feel about this month's horror pack? Which of these movies is your favorite? What are your thoughts on them? Sure, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Geek out with me in the comments below. Click the thumbs up button, give me the good old thumb of encouragement, as I do love to be encouraged. Check out the join button for YouTube memberships, the Patreon link in the description, the merch store link in the description, and the Discord server invite also in the description. And I already said thumbs up and all that stuff, so yeah. That's it. I guess I'm gonna get out of here so I can go open up some more things and watch some more movies. I'll see you all later.